Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame members Don and Phil, the Everly Brothers, had a string of country rock hits in the 50s and 60s. Those many chart toppers included Bye Bye Love, Till I Kissed You, and All I Have to Do Is Dream. We talked about how they got started, their music, their relationship with each other, and even how they met their wives. Phil was married to record producer Archie Bleyer's daughter. Their song Bye Bye Love had been rejected by 30 other acts and ended up being number 2 on the pop charts behind Elvis Presley's Teddy Bear. The Beatles admitted that they were influenced by the Everly Brothers and based their vocal arrangement of Please Please Me on Cathy's Clown.
How did this great brotherly showbiz team get started?
Well, it started as the Everly family, and we were working with our mother and father, and Phil and I were still singing duets then. But we sang gospel and religious music and country music and on local radio when they had live talent on radio. And then later on started recording and writing songs, and finally just branched out all by ourselves as the Everly Brothers.
Tell us about your first hit, Phil, the Bye Bye Love.
We recorded that in 57, and in March of 57. And they brought the song in, and Don and I sang it over for them after we lent it, and they liked the way we did it, so they just cut it, and we were just lucky to get it.
How many copies did that sell?
Well, at that time it sold 1.5 million. At that date now it's somewhere over 2.5 million.
How would you describe your sound, Don?
I'm sort of a mixture of country music, pop music, rhythm and blues, folk music. I think it's sort of a mixture, like a quilt.
You haven't changed your style at all on any of your records, have you?
Well, no, we have used different arrangement sounds and different groups and different techniques recording, but I think we've never used really what you'd call dual tracking our voices or things like it. We've always stuck with just the duet sound.
Most of the time, brothers and families don't get along too well, and when they're together all the time, how do they get along?
Well, we figured that out a long time ago. We don't room together, and so we'd have a few minutes to ourselves. And
I think after you reach a certain age, though, you mature up and you get out of that. That's only when you're in your early 20s or teens, But we were normal brothers. We had our share of the whole thing.
So, what about the protest thing? You fellows haven't followed that at all. What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's gone. I think it was only good for a short while, and there seems to be a general tendency in the industry that once something happens, everybody does it immediately. And Don and I have always believed that's a very bad policy. It's bad for the business in general, and because it makes everything alike, and you lose a lot of originality. And as it proves, it's a dead issue now. The protest songs there'll be maybe one or two more left, but it won't be. It's not a trend.
What's going to happen now, Don? Batman?
Yes, I was just thinking the same thing. Batman, I think, it's a personification of the pop music scene and world and way of thinking now. The younger thinking people, I think, and the success of that is, to me, is stimulating because it again makes people aware, of a new fad or just a new attitude. I don't know. It's a kick when you can walk up to somebody and say Batman and get a laugh. I like that.
You've seen a lot of the English talent. You've been over to England several times now. And what impressions of the British musicians and singers do you have?
They're extremely capable. They really are. And a lot of people sometimes compare the English sound as originating in the South, in the States. They execute the music with complete originality now, and have progressed, immensely since the very first time we went over in 1958. There wasn't hardly any scene at all, but since then it's exploded. And the last time we were there was just a few months ago. It was getting bigger, and I expect bigger and better things from England, but also the States, because there's a upsurge of it here now.
All right, for our last question, let's get to the romantic side of your lives now. How did you meet your wife, Don?
Well, we just met, and we decided to get married.
Was that at a performance or something? Or?
No, not really. I don't know whether I can really remember exactly when it was the first time we met, but we now have 2 children. We now have 2 daughters, and we spend quite a bit of time at home, more than sometimes it seems. We spend at least 6 or 7 months at home a year, and so I do get to spend time with the family.
And how about you, Phil?
I met my wife in New York. She was the daughter of, the stepdaughter of our original boss.
Bob Berry.
Thank you for listening to Bob Berry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all the episodes at wisconsinbroadcastingmuseum.org. Check out Bob Berry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Angels Kids Fund and Donate Life Wisconsin. The preceding program was made possible by a generous contribution from Terry Bond.